What I've learned in the last couple of years, at least I was trying to do it myself. And now, all I try to do is create amazing partnerships. I just couldn't get my mic on.
You were doing that silent.
I was, and then I really can't get my mic on, so it's different than the one I have.
Check. All right, so how are you doing today? Come on, you can do better than that. How are you feeling today? I'm so honored and excited to be here with all of you. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah.
All right, good. Gonna do a good job? Yes. All right, well, I'm just gonna have some fun with you guys. Is that okay?
Yes.
All right.
Please.
So I heard you guys wanted some good, valuable information, some inspiring content, but instead, I'm just gonna put you to work. How's that sound? Yeah, I want to get some shit done. Is that okay?
Yes.
All right, so do you have a laptop, an iPad, something where you can log onto this thing called the internet? Because I'm going to actually have you get stuff done in the next 90 minutes. Stuff that you're going to use in your business that's going to help you increase your revenues, increase your leads, your contacts. Your phone can work, yeah? But I want everyone connected to the internet, have something, a device in front of them, preferably a laptop if you have. That would make it easier for you, because I have limited time, and I want to get a lot done. So iPad, laptop, cell phone, connect to the internet. All right, and I'm going to have Jacob pass out a couple little sheets of paper here, one on each corner. Pass it down. All right, we're going to do a little assessment. And this is actually awesome. Some of you might know the answers right away. Some of you may have to scratch your head and think a little bit about these questions. But this is really going to give us a health check on the marketing of your business, yourself, your brand, your events, your programs, services, whatever it is that you do. Before I have you fill it out, I have 3 questions, actually 4. Raise your hand if you are one of these 3. A service-based business, a service-based business, a product-based business, or both, okay? Service-based business, raise your hand. Product-based business, raise your hand. Both. Wait, some people raise their hand twice. What's going on?
No, we didn't know.
Let's try this again. Service-based business, raise your hand high. Okay. Product-based business. Both. Okay, all right, good mix. All right. Biggest challenge currently in your business. Number 1, leads. Number 2, sales, or both. So raise your hand. Biggest challenge, leads. Raise your hand. All right. Sales, number 2, both. Okay, thank God. No leads. I was like, all right, I'm going to talk about how to generate more leads. Nobody's going to listen to me. All right, good. All right. Your favorite form of communication that you like to be communicated with. Number 1, text. Number 2, email. Or number 3, phone call. All right? The best form of communication that you prefer to communicate with. Number 1, text. Raise your hand. All right, number 2, email. Raise your hand. 2, okay. And number 3, actually phone call. All right, very good. Okay. Last one. How many social media accounts do you have? Like Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok. 1, raise your hand. 2, 3, 4, 5. More than 5. Excellent. Okay. Gives me a good idea of who we got in the room. All right, so everyone have this sheet? Everybody have a pen? Okay, so number 1, what is your number 1 source of leads in your business? Write that down. What's your number 1 source of leads? It could be word of mouth, it could be referrals, it could be advertising, PPC, it could be Facebook ads, Facebook groups, it could be speaking at events, it could be being part of Chamber of Commerce, BNIs. What is your number one source of leads in your business? All right. B, how many leads a week do you receive on average? Just ballpark it. On average, how many leads a week, not a month, a week, do you receive? All right.
What if we're not good with our numbers? I mean, honestly, that's a problem.
Well, I think that speaks for itself, right? And that's why we're all here, right? So that's why I'm here. All right, so how many leads a week do you receive? Number C, what is the average sale price of your product or service? You can have multiple products or services. You can have different packages. So just kind of add it up, divide it by how many you got, and give me an average sale price. Average sale price of your products and services. It can be 2K, 5K, 10K, whatever that average is for you. All right, and if you know this, it'd be great. What is the lifetime value of your customer? And that means when the very first time they purchase, how many other opportunities do they have to buy something from you and continue until they're no longer going to buy from you? That would be the lifetime value of your customer. If anybody knows that, that would be great. And this is actually really important to know, by the way. All right. So at the bottom, there's our little potential monthly revenue formula. So on the very first line, we're going to insert whatever number you put on B, how many leads you receive. So put that down on the first line. How many leads do you receive per week? Okay, and multiply that times 4, whatever that is. Multiply it times 4, it's going to give you how much you're having per month. And then insert letter C. What is the average sale price of your product or service? And then multiply that times the number that you have on how many leads per month. And that's going to give you your potential monthly revenue. All right, so I'm going to quickly go around the room. I see some people are as good at math as I am. Well, don't be ashamed. Pull out the calculators. It's okay. I would be doing it. All right. So I'm going to start around the room. I just want to know what your potential monthly revenue is.
40,000. 200,000.
72,000. I'm sorry. What's the question?
Next.
So I haven't, so this business, the coaching business?
Don, you're killing me here. Next. 12,000? Okay. 100,000? 280. 280? 120. 120? 14,000? 30. 30?
400,000.
Nice. 10? Ma'am?
140.
Okay.
100,000. 160.
400,000 a month.
Nice.
What is this for? This is your thing. He's still figuring it out. Still kind of figuring it. 'Cause
All right.
Lifetime value of my customer kind of fluctuates.
Well, that wasn't part of the formula, but
Yeah, no.
what's your
192.
192? Okay, great. So how many of you already knew this before we filled out this little form? How many already knew your average monthly? Yeah, this is the goal you want to be hitting every month, right? How many of you are already hitting your goal? Just a quick show of hands. How many of you are close to hitting your goal? How many of you are halfway to hitting your goal? Wow. All right. How many of you are 2/3 from hitting your goal? How are you? No one's even close to hitting their goal? All right, cool. That's fine. This is what we're going to work on. Excellent. Okay. So step 2. Everybody ready? Or are you still trying to figure out your LTV?
That's a good one.
Okay. All right. Sales conversions. Here we go. A. How many sales a week do you close? This is the average. What are the average sales you close? Do you close 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 a week? What is your average that you actually close, swipe the credit card, process the payment per week? B, what is your customer acquisition cost? Meaning from your Facebook ads, your PPC, your marketing cost, your funnel builder, your copywriter, all the things. Do you know how much it costs you to acquire a customer? If you don't, ballpark it. Give me a ballpark. All right? Letter C.
What is your downsell? Meaning you have your core offer that you give them. They don't take it. What's your downsell? If you don't have a downsell, just put no, none. And how much is it? What it is and how much is it? Okay? Which should obviously be less than your average sale price, right? From whatever your service is. Man, some of you guys look stressed.
Somebody's thinking I'm in there yet. So.
Right. All right. Next is when they do buy from you, right? What is your upsell? What's the next product or service that you're going to sell this individual once they buy your core product or service? What is your upsell? If you don't have one, just put none. What is your upsell? And it doesn't have to be more expensive. That just depends. We'll discuss that in a moment. But what is your upsell? All right, I'm going to go around the room. I want to just answer the 4 really quick. How many sales a week on average do you close?
Half.
Half? I don't know. I don't remember your first number.
How many sales per week? Well,
That you close. That they
a month.
two.
So half per week.
Oh, 0.5. 0.5 a week. Okay, got it. Understood. And what is your customer acquisition cost?
0.
Nice. Wow, gotta get in your business. What is your downsell offer?
$97 a month membership.
Membership. Nice. What is your upsell offer?
Paid coaching.
Excellent. Great job.
So I'm at 1.
A week.
Yep.
Okay.
Customer acquisition cost is $275.
Dollars.
Mhm.
Excellent.
My downsell offer is $1,995,
Excellent.
and I wrote the $49.97. That's actually my offer. So my upsell offer is $25,000.
Excellent. All right. Great. Thank you.
So I wrote this a little differently because I'm transitioning from a different business, so we wrote it as what will happen right away. So 4 sales a week I'll convert. My acquisition cost is 0. I get it all from current sources. My downsell offer is $177 a month, and my upsell is $99.77 a month.
Excellent. All good.
Zeros.
Wait, what do you mean 0?
Well, I haven't started selling anything.
Yeah.
So this
So-
is a very typical activity.
All right, we'll come back.
What do you say? Say 3, and then I don't know the average acquisition cost. Upsell is about $1,000. And 7 upsells about $13,000.
Awesome. Bob?
15 to 20 sales a week, 0 customer acquisition cost, no downsell, and upsell is about $3,000.
Nice. Excellent.
Yeah, I have 1 sale a week, 0 acquisition cost, down is $47.95, and upsell is $5,000.
Excellent.
5 a week. Acquisition cost is $1,500. No downsell and no upsell at this point, but we're in the middle of building that right now as we're talking.
Great.
10 sales a week, 375 acquisition costs, no downsell, no upsell.
Yet.
Right now.
No, we need it.
I'm guessing at 1 sale a week. I put down $100 for acquisition, but I've never actually acquired anyone from that money. And no downsell, and I'll put no upsell because I just never offered it.
Okay. Great.
0.5, 300 acquisition, 200 downsell, and 0 upsell.
At the moment.
Okay. 0.5 sales a week. Okay,
We work together.
my wife is saying I'm not right, so.
No, not that.
What's new, right? Just playing. No, I'm not.
0.5. I say close to 1K, but my wife says
No,
no.
sweetheart, that can't be 1K to acquire your customer.
For now, just for the.
So what is your downsell offer? I have no idea, so my wife said, right, $200 a month. What is your upsell offer? 0?
For now.
This is all new language to me.
Okay. Good. All right. Just no problem. No wrong answer.
Doing 10 sales a week
Nice.
to close. Probably, I do a lot in marketing, so this is just a guess.
Mhm.
Probably 10,000.
Okay.
Downsell, no upsell.
Okay, yet.
I'm just a service, so, yeah.
There's always an opportunity there.
About 4 sales a week. Ballpark for customer acquisition is around $100. Downsell offer about 800, and upsell all the way up to 10,000.
Excellent. Very good.
This is kind of a dumb question, but I don't understand the customer acquisition cost.
Well, how much does it cost you to actually get that customer? So it can be from your marketing, from your sales, from ad spend, funnel building, copywriting, all the different stuff it takes to acquire a customer.
Okay. So I have like 1 to 10 sales a week, depends how much I work. My follow-up game is weak. So they reach out to me more. Everything I've done is already paid off, so it costs me nothing at this point. My downsell is probably like $350, and my upsell is usually like 5,000, but my offers haven't been created yet. I'm doing Power Day.
Excellent.
So that everything
Cool.
is a lot of work to do.
All right.
Sales a week, probably about 20. Customer acquisition costs, anywhere from 30 to 40, but I just put 35. My downsell offer would be around 225, and then upsell would be about 1,000.
Excellent.
Around 10 sales a week, $50 acquisition, and no down or upsell.
Okay. Is there a way that we can get Helena this sheet?
I just texted to her.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Helena, did you get it already? Did you check your text message? Jay just sent it to you, so I want to see if you can join. I'll come back to you if you're able to fill it out, because I don't want you to miss out either. Okay, so I'm going to jump back to step 1 now that we finalized step 2, right? And I think you're all starting to understand that these are important numbers to know, right? And if we don't know them, we got to start working on how to figure out to know these numbers, okay? Do you feel that it's possible to have a 0 cost for a customer acquisition?
Yeah.
Is that possible?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah?
I don't think it makes sense.
No, yeah.
Why doesn't it make sense?
Well, if you notice how low the acquisition costs are compared to what they're getting for clients.
Yeah, but if you paid it all off, like mine cost me over 10,000, but it's all paid off.
But it still costs you 10,000.
Then I didn't answer the question correctly.
So is it possible to have a 0 customer acquisition cost?
If you don't value your time, yes.
Say that again?
If you do not value your time, yes.
Correct. So nobody actually considered what your time's valued.
I didn't answer it right.
And this is normal, right? This is it's not a trick, but it's normal. As entrepreneurs, we never calculate how much time we actually invest in working to produce a lead or sale, and we never say X I should be paid per hour times Y of time equals Z, right? So I just want you to consider, right? And this is not wrong or right, but just consider what your time is worth and how much time you are personally investing in acquiring these customers. Now, if you're not involved at all, then there's a possibility that it can be low, but I doubt it would be 0, because if you're not involved at all, then that means you have other systems that are working for you, and I promise you, you're paying for those things to happen. But knowing a customer acquisition cost, and it might not be exact, but having a ballpark makes a big difference, okay? And again, we do this like in a whole workshop style. I don't have time to do that today. This is kind of what our 360 marketing system is all about, is diving in every month in different workshops like this to really drill down and create clarity, which most business owners are just out there trying to sell and move on to the next one, okay? So let's move to A of step 1. What is your number 1 source of leads in your business?
You want me to?
Yep.
Okay. It's podcasts and like Zoom teachings.
Zoom?
For companies, RIAs, IRA companies.
Okay. All right. How many leads a week do you receive?
10.
10. And what is the average sale price of your product or service?
$997.
And what is your lifetime value of a customer?
$6,700.
Excellent. All right. Next.
I put down the same thing, actually, RIA groups and podcasts. 10 leads a week. Average sales price on my product is $5,049.97. And lifetime value would be $35,000 if they take the upsell.
Quick question for both of you. How do you get these into these RIAs?
Brute force.
Right, Mo? My
How do you get into
reputation as a short sale expert, they're calling me now.
So does that mean word of mouth?
Yes.
Okay, so then it's word of mouth.
Yeah, I'm word of mouth.
Okay, perfect. Next. I want to be very specific, right? Because once we get clarity on how we're lead generating, then we can figure out ways to do more of that or other ways that we're not currently lead generating.
Yeah, so mine would be word of mouth as well. I said previous clients. So 6 leads a week. My middle of the road service is $29.77, and my lifetime value of a customer is $100,000.
Excellent.
You got this.
All right, you got it.
So, events like Facebook events, speaking, webinars, that's number one.
And how do you get those events?
Word of mouth.
Okay, so it's word of mouth then, okay?
I will have 10 leads a week, one day. 6,000 is the average sale price of my product and service, and 24,000 is the lifetime value of a customer.
Excellent, great job.
Nice. Yeah, I haven't started my coaching business yet, so.
Whatever your current business is.
Current business marketing, word of mouth, leads per week is more of like, it's not per week because they're big clients. My average sale price is like 30 grand.
But how many leads per week? Like how many relationships do you meet that can potentially become a customer a week?
I meet a lot of relationships, but my bandwidth is, I have to expand my business before I take on more, so I'm actually not taking clients.
Okay. Okay. It's a good problem to have.
I'm also working on my offer, but currently word of mouth is the source of leads. I would say three clients per month is what we can take, and average price is $2,500. And what is your lifetime value of that? I haven't figured that.
We don't know that yet. All right, all good. Thank you. Jared?
So if I equate it to one of my current businesses, it's all referrals, about 5 leads a week, $5,000 a piece. And lifetime value of the customer, I guess it would be what I equate how long I would have their account, because I get paid on a monthly basis. I mean, so a customer could be.
It's not how much you're getting, it's how much potential you could get.
Potential, $250,000.
Excellent. Very good.
Biggest source is referrals, about 20 a week, or $6,000 on average. Lifetime, I'm young, so it's up there, over 6 figures for sure.
Excellent.
I do webinars and speak to affiliate groups and then get referrals as a result of that.
But that's, so you get all those through word of mouth, right? People introducing you, connect. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
About 20 leads a week, $1,500 average sale price, and about a $4,000 lifetime value.
35, 4,000 or 40,000?
3,500.
Okay, to 4,000. Got it.
We don't milk them.
Not yet.
Center of influence is a source.
What do you mean by center of influence?
I've been in several masterminds in the past, and I've also had 4 home investors franchises.
So people know you?
Yeah.
So word of mouth?
Right.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure it's important to understand how we're acquiring these leads, because we'll get to it in a moment. Continue.
But I'd say half a lead a week. And average sale price is $69.95. And lifetime value is $150,000.
Excellent.
So again, you want the source, right? The source of leads?
Yep.
So we're fortunate enough to be on Ron the Grand stage monthly, and that's where our access is to our leads at this point. Right now, we're building our 3-day event and then our coaching, and that's coming this fall. So that's what we're building on now. So we're averaging maybe just a round number, maybe about five leads a week. Potential, I don't know if I'm doing this right, but I'm thinking about the product that we're building for the upsell. I guess could be like between 30 and 50,000 per student if they come into our other programs, which could be as high as $30,000. One program could be 30,000 or more.
So your lifetime value could be like 100K,
Okay, yeah.
right? Because 30,000 to 20,000, and they add up if they do all the programs, what would that up to?
Yeah, I think 100 would be right.
Okay, excellent, great.
Okay, we get ours from word of mouth. We get about 40 leads a week, average of about 5,000. And lifetime value, we're still not sure, but 20 to 200,000.
Okay, very good.
Networking, meaning word of mouth, Facebook, RIAs, standing on the shoulders of the giants. I'm guessing 60 a week, 500, and I don't know for the lifetime value at all.
Yet.
I want to let him answer.
Okay.
His answer is better.
No problem. There's no wrong or right. It's whatever it is.
So A is word of mouth, Facebook events and lives. I go to a lot of events. Want to start coming to more public. Networking, a lot of networking. Leads 5 to 7. Average sale price is 3.5K for coaching, 5K for water. What is your lifetime of the customer? It's priceless. What I came up with is 140K.
Okay, excellent.
Speaking, word of mouth, social media.
Perfect.
12 leads a week, $3,500 average sale price. That's probably the same number for the lifetime value.
Okay.
So when I do a launch, it of course increases. But I receive on average, without doing anything, about 5 leads a week. And my average sale price is $5,000. The lifetime value of the customer is around 25 to 30K. My sales conversion, I roughly close 2 to 3 sales a week. My customer acquisition cost depends a lot on if it's through an affiliate. If it's through an affiliate, it's $1,000 if it's a referral. Otherwise, it's some kind of mix of all the marketing mix that we're doing. I would say about $300. My downsell is $997. The pocket and my upsell is $20,000. Let me see the other questions.
That's it. That's where we're at right now.
Okay, that's fine.
You did great. Let's give her a round of applause. I think you had the most on-point numbers out of everyone in the room, Helena. So great job, great job. Okay, how would you like to increase those numbers? Okay, that's what we're gonna talk about right now. So on the right, do you see that little gray square that says EA revenue multipliers? Okay, this is how we're going to increase those numbers, okay? Everything you've been learning over the past 2.5 days is all about how to be more effective at closing, okay? But what do we first have to be able to do before we can get someone in front of us to close? We got to generate a lead, right? So me and Dave balance each other out. We're like the yin and the yang. He's the closer, I'm the lead generator. And the reason I partnered with Dave is because I realized after teaching my system and my process to my clients, I could get them to start increasing their leads. But now they had all these leads, all these people to talk to, now what did they have to figure out how to do? Close, right? So that's where we brought Dave in, because Dave is the best when it comes to conversions. Right? Anyone ever heard traffic and conversion?
Yeah.
Well, that's leads and sales. It's the same thing, just different language. So what we're going to be talking about right now is how do you generate those leads so you can take everything that you've learned in the last 2.5 days and implement it with those leads that you generate. Is this making sense? Yep. And the more leads you get, the more you can close, right? So let's go quickly over the revenue multipliers. This is how you increase your top line and bottom line revenues. So number one is we have to increase leads, right? The more leads we have, the more conversations, the more we're going to close. I think we all get that. Now, how we're going to do that, I'm going to break that down in just a moment. Now, maximizing your closing percentage is why you guys are all here at this event. Whether it's one-on-one or one-to-many, everything that Dave has been teaching you is how to maximize your closing percentage. And the reality is, what I love most about what Dave teaches is his one-on-one sales techniques. Because even though one-to-many will bring you more sales, what do you spend most of your time actually doing? How often are you speaking per month? What's the most any of you are speaking on stage, amount of time in front of a room per month? 2 or 3 times for 60 to 90 minutes. That's it. Now, that can be a great bang for your buck, but being able to have those one-on-one conversations for all the rest of the month, that for me is really very important, okay? So what we're gonna be talking about is how do we generate those leads to have those one-on-one conversations. So creating upsells, downsells, and VIP options is another way to increase revenue, right? If someone is not gonna buy your core product, there may be another product, lesser amount, lesser service, lesser whatever, that you could offer them to at least get some type of revenue in. Once they purchase your core product, then upsells are opportunities to bring in more revenue. Why? Because the best time to buy is when someone already bought from you. Or to sell is when someone already bought from you, right? Your buyers are your best clients because they already trust you. You've done all the heavy lifting. So why not offer them something else? They're a lot more likely to buy from you again. Doesn't that make sense? All right. This is my favorite. Raise your prices. This is the easiest way to make more revenue. Raise your prices. Right? Add a zero. Now, here's the coolest thing about raising your prices. Even if you had less customers, you could still make more what? Money. But you do less what? Work. Because if we made more sales, we have to service more customers, which means we have to do more work, which costs us more money and time, because time is the most valuable thing we have, right? So that one's my favorite, and there's a whole process on how you get to increase your prices. And that has to do a lot with what I teach, which is branding, positioning, right? Don't just get paid for what you do, get paid for who you are. So we'll get into that in just a moment. This is another great one that maybe you're already doing or maybe you've never considered. Strategic joint venture partners. This can add some zeros to your bottom line. A lot of you said, I don't have a downsell and I may not have an upsell. Well, guess what? You can partner with someone that has your same demographic, your same audience, but provides a complementary service that you know your audience can benefit from, and all of a sudden you can get a percentage of their sales, and you've just brought in a brand new revenue stream into your business. Now keep in mind, you did the work of acquiring that customer the first time anyway, or you did the work of getting them on a call. So if you put them in front of someone else that can provide a valuable service, now you can get paid for that. Does that make sense? That's what Dave and I did. I come speak at his events, he speaks at my events. We provide complimentary services, all our customers are happy, they thank us for introducing each other, and we both have increased our revenue because of it. Is this making sense? So if you're, I don't have a downsell, guess what? Create a joint venture partnership with someone, introduce them to your audience, your revenue is gonna go up like that. Okay? You like that one? No, you don't like that one. All right. Launch digital products. How many of you already have digital products? Okay. How many of you want to have digital products? How many of you do events? Okay. I want you to consider this. If you record your entire live event, what can you turn that into? A digital product. So put an event together, record it, and now you can create a digital product. Sound good? And now you can use this digital product in many different ways, which we'll get to in just a moment. All right, create residual income or memberships. Anything that's gonna keep them paying, right? Some of you know about My 360 sites, which I'm gonna share with the rest of you in just a moment, but that is a membership. Whether it's monthly or annually, it's a membership. It's not a lot of money, but it's something that's recurring revenue. So consider, how can you create something of consistent value throughout the course of a year where people can pay you either monthly or annually residually, creating a membership, okay? And last but not least, and Dave's really great at this, licensing, franchising, or figuring out a way to duplicate yourself, right? And what is a way that you can duplicate yourself? Hire someone and train them. What else?
Successful students.
Successful students. What else? I'm looking into it. Recording. How many of you have been to UPW in the last 2 years? Unleash the Power Within, Tony Robbins? No? Nobody? All right. What does Tony do? How does Tony teach half the time now?
Video.
Through a video.
Super old ones too.
Some of them are super old, right? Yeah. I mean, it still works and it's still great content, but the point is he's not standing in the room. He's standing in the room half the time now. The rest of the time, they're watching a video. Okay? All right. So I promised you we're going to get some work done. So this was just a warm-up. You guys warmed up? Yes? All right. So I want you now, let's see, can we pull up my 360 site, please? All right. So I want everyone to open up their phones, laptops, iPads, whatever you're going to use. And I want you to go to a website. I want you to go to rayperez360.com. rayperez360.com. And then let's see who's got the fastest internet in the room. Hold your phone up once you're there. Let me see it. All right, number 1, number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, who else? Come on, slowpokes. Everybody there? All right, so there's going to be this little pop-up that you see, which you see on the screen right here. Click on that image. That's going to take you to a little form. Now, if you already have a 360 site, you don't need to do this, Helena. You already have a site. It's only for those of you that don't have a site. And just fill out the form on the next page, which basically, let's see, looks like this.
What's the website again?
rayperez360.com. Click on that little banner ad that pops up. Put your name, your email, your phone number, create a password, and you're going to log into your new 360 site. If you have a 360 site, log into your 360 site. So Helena, log into your 360, log into your 360. We're going to set it up. I'm going to do that right now.
Sorry, how do you log into the site?
Well, once you fill out that little form.
Well, I've already got.
Oh, you got one already?
I have a
Go to my360login.com. All right, is everybody in? Come on, I don't got a lot of time. All right. Okay, you want to put that on the whiteboard right there? All right. Oh, shoot. All right, so those of you that have one, go to my360login.com, get logged in. Let me know once you're inside, kind of show me that you're there. Got it. Okay, all right. So let's stay there for just a moment. How many of you are already familiar with a 360 site? Just a quick show of hands. Okay, not that many. All right, so let me show you how I've created a technology to be able to be more effective at what I currently do. And that has to do with marketing, has to do with sales, has to do with speaking, has to do with networking, relationship building. And what was the number one way that this group acquires leads? What was the number one? Word of mouth. Word of mouth was number one, okay? And understand this, for any service-based business, that's usually number one, all right? And 90% of entrepreneurs, word of mouth and referrals is the two top ways that they, until you have a $5,000 a month budget to put into ad spend, you usually don't get into doing that. Because you'll do it for a month or two, you won't see any results, and you just end up wasting your money. Anybody ever experienced that? Spent a couple $1,000, didn't see any results, and said, all right, I'm gonna go back to my word of mouth and referrals. That's why what Dave teaches and what I teach is so important, because this is how we all acquire customers currently. The question is, how can you be more effective at what you're already doing, right? Dave is only teaching you ways to be more effective at closing, but you're already having conversations, you're already doing Zoom calls, you're already having opportunities to speak. The question is, are you being as effective with your time as you may be, as you could be, right? And the reality is most people are not. So let's talk about networking for a moment. Everybody goes to networking events. Yes, everybody goes to seminars, conferences, workshops, all that kind of stuff. Everybody meets people that can potentially be your customer, a referral partner, a joint venture, or a service provider, right? Sometimes you meet people that are like, I need your service. I want to know who's got a super effective way at networking events to connect with people. Who's got it dialed in? Anybody? Who passes out business cards? Let me just see a quick show of hands. Who passes out business cards? All right. Okay. I'm just curious. So I pass out business cards to people I don't want to follow up with. That's not a joke. It's the truth. If I ever give you a business card, it's because I don't want to follow up with you. Because the moment you give someone a business card, you're giving them work.
Yeah. Yes, I feel like that too.
Thank you. So I want you to use your peers as a focus group. If I hand someone a business card with my information on it, I'm basically telling you, now you need to open your phone, you need to dial 10 digits, you need to put my name in, like I'm physically giving you work to do. Does this make sense? Now, when it comes to lead generating, one of the things we want to reduce is called friction. Does everybody understand what reducing friction means? How many steps it takes to get from point A to point B, right? Or from A to Z, to be honest. So if you want to connect with someone, the most important thing, besides getting their information, is doing what? What's the most important thing when you meet someone for the first time? Besides getting their info, what's the most important thing that you should be able to do with them?
Leave an impression.
Yes?
Give them yours.
Perfect. Give them your information. But let's think about this for a second. Giving them your business card technically is giving them their information, but it's not really getting it in their cell phone. Does that make sense? So you're not being effective at giving your information when you're handing someone a business card. Our goal is to actually do what?
Get into their phone.
Get into their phone.
And that's what this is going to do.
That's what we're doing here. But do you understand why? Because if we don't get into their phone, what can't we do? We can't talk, we can't communicate. If we can't communicate, we can't schedule a call, which means we can't have a conversation, which means they're never going to buy from you. Making sense? Okay. So the number one thing that I had to figure out is how the heck could I get my information into this person's phone without making them do work? Okay? Boom. All right, I'll pull it up on the screen and I'll demonstrate it really quick. Let's see if this thing works. All right, everybody open up the camera on their phone. Hold it up against the screen. You guys know how to do this? Did anybody experience this thing called COVID and learn how to use QR codes? I hope so. All right.
It's hard to set up on your own though.
All right. Open up your camera on your phone.
I think I already have you in.
That doesn't matter. I want you to experience. I want you to actually, I told you I'm going to do some work. I'm going to make you work. Open up your camera and tell me what pops up.
And it says save now.
Ah, there we go. There we go. It should say save now. If not, close the other window and scan it again. It should be a little pop-up that says save now. Now click on that save now, and I'm going to logistically teach you how to do this. Because if you don't learn how to do it, you're not going to use it, okay? So when you click save now, I'm going to first do the iPhone users. You have to scroll to the bottom where it says create new contact.
Yes, really.
If you do not do that, and you click done, they're not going to save, you're not going to save their information to their phone. So you're going to click create new contact, and then in the top right-hand corner, you're going to click done. And then it's saved. Okay? Yes?
Do you actually have your real phone number here?
That is a great question. Hold on to that question for a moment. I want to get the logistics done, and I'm going to answer that. For the Android users, I think you have to click the 3 little dots, and then it asks you, do you want to save it into your Gmail or your Google? Which do you want to save it? Download the vCard, and then it saves. It's like 2 extra steps. Does everybody got that process? Anybody not got that? Yes?
It's telling me I have to change permissions.
Are you an Android user?
Yeah. It's giving me a weird.
Problem solved.
I can't do anything about the technology, but what I can tell you is this. When you're networking with someone at a live event or a virtual event, you can do this process. What do I mean? You're physically in front of me right now, so I can do this with you. But consider if you were all online, What's the difference if I pulled up that QR code on a Zoom call and you were all sitting at home and you did the exact same thing? There's zero difference. Because some of you are speaking in Zoom events, correct? Some of you are speaking on stage, right? So what we want to figure out is in every single scenario that you're currently operating, how can you do this functionality to get your information into people's phone more effectively? Why? Because if you're in their phone, when you follow up with them, what's going to pop up in their cell phone? Your picture, your name, and if you notice in your text feed, the majority of all your contacts look how? They're gray little circles with gray little circles, maybe with some initials on it. Has anyone ever noticed? Go into your text feed and look at that. Now, I want everyone to now go to back to the 360 site, and I want you to click the contact button. And this is going to answer your question that you just had. So everyone go to my 360 and click the contact button in the top right, and tell me, when you click on it, what do you see at the top? Send text. Click send text. Text me your full name and your best email. This is for you, Jared. Text me your full name and your best email.
You said go to the top right, on an iPhone, go to the top right.
When you go back to the 360, there's a contact button. Click the contact button. All right, David. All right, full name, best email. All right, Rachel.
Wait, what did we set? Just hi?
Just full name, best email. That's it. You see what I'm doing? See what I'm doing?
Let's do it today.
Katie? Will? Bob? Jason?
Same thing.
Adam? Gotcha. Michael? Al? Alice? Full name, best email. That's it. Dawn? Full name, best email. That's all I need. All right. Mo, Adrian, Bob again. All right. Look at my text in your, look at my image on your text. Does it stand out? Oh yeah, it does. Okay? So consider, you know how Dave does NLP and he teaches all this? We're doing social dynamic NLP. I am actually putting my information into your cell phone. I'm making myself stand out, and now I can follow up with you and have a whole conversation, which is what we all need to do, right? Because the sales and the follow-up, it's not in the meeting. And we'll get into that a little bit later on how we do that. Now, speakers, raise your hand. Speakers, whether live in person or on Zoom. Raise your hand high, let me see. Not everyone's, how can you be in a speaking course and not everyone's raising their hand? What's going on here? Wow, okay. Speakers, this is the game changer. I'm literally going to show you what no other speaker in the world is able to do because I invented this technology. What do speakers do for lead capture currently today? Or what do you guys use for lead capture right now? Tell me. Follow me on Instagram, connect with me on LinkedIn, right? It's not even if they don't remember. You didn't get the most important thing, which is what? Their cell phone, not their email. We just agreed in this room earlier that the number one form of communication that we all preferred was what? Text. There was 2 people who preferred email. It's okay. I'll pray for you. Who came up to me and said, dude, I love your automatic responder? Jared. My automatic responder, if you email me, says, important message about your message to Rey Perez. It says, I do not check my email. Not for personal reasons, but for productivity reasons. As you know, email can be a black hole. If this is important, please call or text me at this number. You know, when someone calls me and says, did you get my email? You know what I say? Did you get mine? That's it. And I've been doing this for 7 years, by the way. And I know some of you are like, how in the hell do you do business if you don't use your email? I have other ways, which I don't have time to get into, but I have a project management system that all my team and all my clients are on, and anyone, I train them how to communicate with me. It's always going to be through WhatsApp if it's business related. If it's just they're going to contact, you can use text. But once I start doing business, I move everything to WhatsApp into our project management system. And this is what we teach in our 360 marketing system. We literally break it down how to organize your communication in a way that you're more effective. Because I will never spend time looking through emails saying, delete, delete, I'll never do that. I just give it up. The only reason I will check my email is because you texted me and said, hey, I sent you an important email. And then I'll go check it, or I'll say, can you WhatsApp it to me? And I don't have time to go into how I actually use WhatsApp. That's like a full hour training on how to use WhatsApp for business. But you can kind of understand that there is an organizational time-saving factor in what we're discussing here. Does this make sense? So, for all you speakers, I usually don't break this down, but I'm going to do it for you because every person in this room is a speaker, and every person in this room needs to learn how to lead generate at a high level. Landing pages, social media, text codes, none of that stuff is going to give you the same conversion as using your 360. Okay? Let me explain to you why. When you're a speaker and you say, go to my landing page, or text 26786 this word, what does the audience know that you're doing? They know that you're lead capturing. They know that you're getting them to opt in, right? They know that you're marketing to them. Do people love to buy, but they hate to be sold? So there's going to be people in the audience that are not going to give you their information because they don't want to be put onto your marketing list. Does that make sense? Do you agree that that's true? Do you agree that you do the same thing sometimes, right? Now, would you also agree, as Dave has taught you, that the speaker has the power in the room? Would you agree with that? And you can command the audience to do what you tell them to do, correct? To a limit, to a degree, of course. The reason I use the 360 site is because no one actually had to fill out a form. Nobody had to technically opt into anything. All you did was text me your full name and your what? Email. Best email. This language is very important. Dave talks about language, right? The language you use is very, very important and must be specific. What did I not ask you for?
Your social media.
What's the most important piece of information we need? Dave, that's right. What's the next most important piece of information after the
Phone number.
phone number? Did I ask you for your phone number? But what did I get from everybody? No, I got your what?
Contact info.
Your cell phone number.
Which is the best number, of course.
Why? Because if you give me a form to fill out and it says phone number, you can put any number you want. You can put your office number, you can put your home number, you can put a bullshit number. But if you click a button that texts me, and all you do is send me your name and your email, there is no way for you to not give me your cell phone. Does this make sense? This is the most ninja strategy that I have ever come up with. And it's changed my life as a speaker because my percentage of lead capture went up considerably when I started shifting to this method opposed to a landing page or email me. Or think about this. You're a speaker, you have this speaker, he's giving great content, and the best way to connect with me is email me. How do you feel? Fuck you, right? Yeah, exactly. Excuse my French. That's like, every time a speaker says, here's my email, I'm like, I cannot believe you gave a great presentation, you have an opportunity to capture leads, and you told everyone to fuck off by giving them your email. It's the most unpersonal form of media that exists on the planet. The most unpersonal. At least put your damn Facebook or something on there. And this is where I laugh. Because people are here at an event. I mean, why do you go speak at an event? Because you just want to you want to get what's called a Wayne Newton? A Wayne Newton, everybody? If they're doing this, they're not doing what? Not giving you the credit card, right? So one of the things that Dave and I have really realized is a lot of events nowadays, you can't sell. You're not allowed to sell. So the only thing you can do is what? Lead capture. So if you're not maximizing your lead capture while you're at an event, you're just wasting your time. Does this make sense? Yep. Now, I'll quickly, in less than a minute and a half, we'll go over exactly the language that I use to lead capture, and I'll make sure I give it to you and I give you the script as well. Okay? You guys ready? All right, let's pretend I've been talking for 20, 30 minutes. Has this information been valuable? Yes. Are you liking this? Yes. All right, well, I know I have limited time with you here today, so what I'd like to do is give you my full presentation on where I'm going to teach you how to leverage the power of your personal brand to attract more leads and more sales for your business. A quick show of hands. Who wants more leads and more sales for the business? Let me see. Raise them up. All right, great. So what I want everyone to do is pull out their cell phones right now. I want you to open up a web page, and I'm going to send you a little free gift. And basically, it's my entire presentation. So you can watch this with your team, your partner. You can replay it, and you really are going to learn how to attract those leads and those sales. Okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to go to rayperez360.com or scan the QR code on the screen, and let me know when you're there. Let's see who's got the fastest internet in the room. Raise your hand. Let me see the phone. Quickly. All right. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6. All right. Excellent. Now, you can exit out that pop-up, just X that out. And you can look at all my social medias and all that junk later. Don't do that right now. On the right, it says contact. Does everyone see that contact button? Yes? I want you to click on that contact button and tell me what you see at the top. What do you see at the top when you click contact? Send text. That's right. Everyone, I want you to click on that send text, and I want you to text me your full name and your best email, and I'm going to send you my whatever your thing is. That's it. Best. Who has more than one email? Raise your hand. Look at the room. Look around the room. Why do I say best? Because many people have multiple emails at this point in our lives. So always say full name and best email. You must repeat it at least 3 times as you're going through this process. But at this point, and you don't really have to do it, by the way, Rachel. I'm just teaching you. So do you see how it doesn't feel like a sales pitch? It doesn't feel like a landing page. It doesn't feel like text the word brand to 266. Like, that's all bullshit. They click the button, they send their name and their email, and I got their cell phone, and I got their name, and look, I don't care if they didn't even put their name. I don't even care if they put their email. As long as they said hi, I got the most powerful piece of contact information I could ever need. Because you know what I can reply? Is hi back. Who is this? That's it. Now I got their information. Is this making sense? A minute and a half is all it takes. Now, I'm going to break it down really quick, right? The way that Dave breaks this down, I'm going to break down what I did in a minute and a half. So the first thing I did is I got everyone to acknowledge that the value that I was giving you, right? Then I said, I have limited time with you. Now, it doesn't matter how long your presentation is. You always have limited time, right? Whether it's 30 minutes, 60 minutes, or 90 minutes, or 2 hours, you always have limited time. So because I have limited time with you today, I want to give you, and I believe, in my professional opinion, that the best lead capture gift you can give someone is not your book. It's not your 10 tips. It's not your whatever it is that you have. It's a presentation of you speaking, giving them the information about what it is that you do so they can see and hear you all over again, and you're enrolling them using everything that Dave has been teaching the last 2 days in that presentation. Could you think of anything better to put in front of that audience? There's no book, there's no PDF, there's nothing that's going to match with you speaking to them. Now, if you don't have that, make sure you talk to Dave, because one of the things that we do is we create a product, a whole presentation where we have your video, and that's going to be your lead capture, okay? So then we get them to ask, to acknowledge the fact that this is valuable, and would you like this? Yes. Do not say, I'm going to send this to you without having everyone in the room raise their hand and say that they want it, right? Dave has been teaching trial closes, right? If we do not trial close them, they're not going to actually send you their information. And by the way, they don't want the presentation. They want what the presentation is going to do for them. So if you noticed, I said, I'm going to send you my full presentation on how you're going to learn to leverage your personal brand to attract more leads and more sales for your business. How many of you want more leads and more sales for your business? Raise your hands high, right? I didn't ask you how many of you want my presentation. None of you want my presentation. You all want to learn how to attract more leads and sales. So you always must talk about the benefit. It's never about the product or service. Is this making sense? Okay, at that point, you tell everyone to pull out their cell phones. Now, what was I doing when I was telling you to pull out your cell phones? I was raising my hand, right? What Dave talks about, right? Never this, always this. So I'm actually telling the whole audience, pull out your cell phones, and everyone will do it, right? Remember how Dave teaches, right? Same exact thing. At this point, then what do I ask everyone? What do I ask the audience? Let's see who's got the what? The fastest internet in the room. And now I gamify it. And now I make you like little kids, and you all are competing with each other to see who had it first. He grabbed his computer, turned it around. If you don't gamify it, you will not see the same results. I promise you. I've been doing this for 7 years. Been doing the same process, and I perfected it. So, and then what I did, I acknowledged. Number one. Number two, and you see how everybody was screaming. Now, it's really cool when you're a speaker and you see your 360 site in everybody's phones and you see your face in everybody's hands. It's kind of cool. So the first time you do it, be prepared. You're like, wow, this is cool. All right? Then I told you to not do something. What did I tell you not to do?
Social media.
Yeah, don't click on my social media. So it makes you want to do what? Click on my social media. So I'm actually telling you what I really want you to do by telling you to not do it. Hey, don't click on any of that right now. You can do it later if you want. Don't click on any of my social medias. Because later, when you click on my social medias, you're going to build more what with me? Rapport, more value, more credibility. And if someone's going to buy from you, we need them to feel that you have a higher perception of value. Do you agree? No one's going to buy from you if they don't like, know, and trust you. The only way to get them to like, know, and trust you is to do what? Get more exposure. Get in front of them more, right? And there is no better way to get in front of them more than with the 360 site because it has everything in one place. Does that make sense? So if they want to look at your social medias, let them look at your social medias. If they like LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, let them look at whatever they want. If they want to look at your podcast, if they want to look at your book, how many authors in the room? Let me see, show of hands. How many authors in the room? How many soon-to-be authors in the room one day? Yes? Okay, I'm gonna teach my little hack about authors. You're all going to be authors after today. How many of you have a podcast or have been on someone's podcast? Let me see, show of hands. Okay? They can click on whatever they want. How many of you have more than one website? Raise your hand. How many have 2 or more websites? 3 or more? I have 6 websites. How would I ever show someone 6 websites without making them feel I'm trying to sell to them? So I'm going to briefly just share with you right now, right here, it says websites. So I have multiple websites, as you can see, because I have multiple companies. The first one is A&P Productions. That's my marketing and promotions company that I've had for over 16 years, where we do live event coordination and we do video production for our clients. The second one is Brand in 2 Days, where we build people's personal brand in a workshop-style experience in 2 days. The third is my talk show, Today's Premier Experts, where we interview entrepreneurs just like you on what has made you successful. We broadcast it on Amazon, YouTube, Vimeo, what's the other? Roku, and there's one more. No, there's one more. No, there's one more. It's Amazon, Roku, and Apple TV. VIP Branding Experience is like our top tier event where we have clients fly down to Miami for 3 days. We do all their social media, we do all their branding, we do their web presence, we do all their videos, and we do everything in 3 days. My 360 Sites is the SaaS platform you're looking at. If you don't know what SaaS is, it's software as a service. And the last one is Dave and I's nonprofit organization, Influence with Love, where we support underprivileged youth and teaching them entrepreneurship skills and mentoring them. If any of you would like to volunteer to be part of our charity, just let me know. Okay? Yes? Anybody else would like to get a look? Okay, excellent. Thank you. Now, what was I able to do in less than a minute and a half?
You shared all your sites and everything.
Did that feel salesy at all?
No. In fact, I'm clicking on everything right now. But you do have instant credibility with us. I mean, we're in the right platform. We are all over you. Yeah.
And when you're in front of an audience, guess what? So do you.
Yeah. Okay.
Doesn't matter if it's live in person or if it's on Zoom, right? It's always going to be the same. What people want, and Dave teaches this when it comes to sales, is they want to get to know you and they want to trust that you're going to do them right. That you're not going to take their money and run, right? And the only way they can do that is to see what you're up to in the world. And in today's society, what do you believe is the #1 way that people research one another? Google, 100%, right? Anyone disagree that Google, okay. Now, when they search on Google, what do they typically find and look at?
Peoplefinder.com.
What?
People find it.
Okay, well, what usually pops up and what do they like to go look at?
Facebook,
Social medias. Because they can find their whats? Photos and videos. Does everyone understand that this is normal, right? Like, you're not special. People are looking you up, they're Googling you, and they're checking out your social media. You do understand this, right? Because some people, like, oh, no, I don't use my Facebook. But it's online. I don't care what you choose to use it for. The world can Google it, pop it up, and they can look at it. So if you're not controlling what your presence looks like, guess what? The world is determining who you are, and that's a lot of the reasons why people won't buy from you or won't follow you or refer you. Is this making sense? So I talked about podcasts, all right? Where are we? Podcasts. Right here. Bam, this thing's done. I have my own podcast, but I'd rather promote my TV show. Every single one of these episodes is someone else's podcast that I've been a guest on. Who's been on someone's podcast more than 3 times? The 3 different podcasts that you've been on. Who wants to be on some other people's podcasts? Let me just see a show of hands. All right, we'll teach you how to do that too. Every single one of those is a presentation that I did on someone's podcast. So that's just maximum credibility for me. I'm not even promoting my podcast right now. Is this making sense? All right, authors in the room.
These are podcasts you were on?
Those are podcasts that I was on as a guest. Yes. Does that make sense? All right. Authors here, this is the best one. Whoever's not in the room is going to miss this. Book. All right. How many of you have a book right now? Okay. How many of you one day want to have a book? Okay. You ready how you're all going to become published authors? You're never going to forget me for the rest of your life? Do you have a name for the book you want to create? You have a name? Do you have maybe a subtitle for that? The title and the subtitle. I want you to get a book cover designed. When you design the book cover, I want you to create what's called a Google form. Does everybody know what a Google form is? Does anyone not know what a Google form is? Okay. In Gmail, there's these 9 little square gray dots on the top. You click on that, and one of them says Google form. And this is what a Google form looks like. You see this one that says Drive to Success? This is a Google form. And that's my book cover of my upcoming book. Now, this is a co-author book that I'm doing, where I'm giving other entrepreneurs an opportunity to become a published author in a very short amount of time by only have to doing 1 chapter instead of having to write a whole book. This is a new project that I'm just launching to my entire audience. We haven't even launched it yet. But what I want you to see is how I created a book cover, and then I created a Google form that says, fill out the form below to reserve your copy of Ray's new book. I ask for your full name, your phone number, your best email, and would you like a second copy to give as a gift? I'm taking reservations. I'm not taking pre-orders. The moment you have your title, your subtitle, and you design a book cover, create a Google form, and start taking reservations, because you are now officially the author of the upcoming book, whatever it's called.
Wow.
And I don't care if it takes you 3 months or 3 years to publish the book. Perception is reality, ladies and gentlemen. I have a book. It's right here, right? Anybody ever read my book? Anybody ever going to read my book? Probably not. The reality is. But the fact is, I have a book. So I have power the moment I hold this book up here. Does this make sense? So you may not have the book in hand yet, but there's no reason you can't start taking reservations for a book that's coming down the line, and there's no reason you can't let people know that you're the author of the upcoming book. Does this make sense? So who's going to get their book within the next week up on their 360 and start taking reservations? And think about this. Now you can start posting online. I'm so excited about my new book, whatever it's called, coming soon. If you'd like to reserve your copy, click here. Is this making sense? Now, I assume you're all going to do this, right? Now, when you post on your social media that this book is coming out, what link are you going to drop in there? Why?
all the techniques in one piece.
Thank you. This is the genius. You're not going to put the Google form. You're going to put the link to your 360 that has the Google form on it. Because when you send them to your 360, yes, they can reserve your copy, but they can also check out your videos, check out your websites, check out your podcast. You're very smart, my friend. This is the brilliance behind having a 360. Because as a speaker, if we just send them to our book, we get 0 exposure. Who cares? Look, I have Cracking the Celebrity Code. If I posted on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, whatever it is, sent out in an email, if I only sent them my Amazon link, how much exposure am I getting to my brand and my business? 0. When I send a link to my 360, I still can send them to Amazon, but when they close the Amazon, guess what's still there? Everything. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the brilliance behind why a 360 for an entrepreneur is so valuable. Because it takes 7 to 12 exposures for someone to make a buying decision. That number is 3 years old, by the way. It's a lot more now, but I'm still sticking to 7 to 12 because it sounds good and I'm so used to it. But the reality is this, exposure. Do you know what an exposure means?
Yes.
What? Give me an exposure.
Having a conversation, watching a video.
Watching a video, conversation, what else?
Having an event.
A podcast.
An experience.
Book. Social media posts. These. The little image you send them on a text feed, on an email, those are all exposures. It takes a minimum of 12 before someone makes a buying decision. So I don't want you to ever try to sell anyone. After today, you never try to sell. What should you try to do?
Get people to your 360 website.
Your goal is how many exposures can I get in front of them? Because we already understand that it takes a certain amount of exposures before someone's going to make a buying decision. So the goal is not to sell them. The goal is how many damn exposures can I get in front of them so I can get them warmed up enough to make the buying decisions. Because people buy based on what? Emotion, backed by logic. So if we don't get enough exposures, we can't create enough emotional connection with them so that they make the buying decision. So what do we need to use? We need to use all our assets. We need to use our book. We need to use our podcast. We need to use our social media, our videos. Every asset you can have, you got to get in front of them. And let's be real. You're not going to send someone 27 different links and say, watch my video, look at my Facebook, because I've had someone do that to me, and it was the most repulsive experience I've ever had in my life. And those of you that are laughing, it probably happened to you as well. And that does the opposite. So what I had to figure out is, how can I maximize my exposure, but limit what I'm actually putting in front of them? And that's how I invented this right here. One link with everything. Now, we could get into how do we brand it as well. I don't have time for that today. That's why we do a whole 3-day event around this, like you've been doing for speaking, we do for lead generation, credibility building. But I'll give you a quick example. Right? So let's look at social media for just a second. Right? For those of you that have multiple social medias, I got an Instagram, I got a LinkedIn, I got a Twitter, and 2 YouTubes. Now, Facebook is down here. Does anybody know why I have Facebook separate?
Did you have several pages?
Does anybody have multiple pages on a social media? I have a fan page, I have a company page, I have a personal page, and I have 3 groups. There would be no way for me to put that in front of someone without looking like I'm trying to sell. Now, all of my groups are closed. Why would I still promote my groups even though they're closed?
Makes you want to get in and buy your product and get in.
Boom, because people can click on it, they can see it, and they can apply to join the group, and I just generated a lead. And it happens all the time.
Oh my God.
Oh, I know. It just keeps getting, this is only the tip of the iceberg, my friend.
So does that interface with Candling?
Yes, so Calendly. So up here where it says contact, you see where it says discovery call? I'm not using Calendly, but I use Appointment Corp, but it's up to you, whatever you want. This is my calendar link. It's an exposure. Does that make sense? most of you who have calendar links who do not have your branding on it. And when I say branding, if you've been through my business growth bootcamp, you'd understand that there's the visual identity, the verbal identity, and the value identity. And we figure out how to build all those two into what's called your personal brand, right? And when someone comes across your personal brand, it's not just seeing your photo, it's who you are, what you do for them. Who you are is your expert title, and what you do for them is called your USP, your unique selling proposition. The better fine-tuned you have your expert title and your USP, the more likely they're going to feel that you are of value to them. Is this making sense? All right, now let's take a look at media. How many of you have ever had a news article or been featured anywhere? Any type of press? Let's just show of hands, press. How many of you have that available and accessible for people to click on? Right? It's like, wait a second, we did all that work. We know we have it somewhere, but we don't have it accessible for people. Part of the 360 site process is to do kind of like a marketing checkup, to kind of see where you're at. Are you using what you currently have? And what are you missing? Because some of us are missing the book. Well, guess what? I just gave you a solution for all of you to have your book available on your 360, marketing you and lead generating at the same time. Podcast. All you need to do is reach out to a few. How many of you here have your own podcast? Raise your hand. Anybody else? Nope, only one person. All right, I have one too. So we can get on 2 or 3 podcasts and pop it on your 360. Now you have credibility being as a host on a podcast, so other people may want to book you on a podcast. Does that make sense? So what I want you to understand is I would have never been able to share my Forbes article, Entrepreneur, Los Angeles Tribune, USA Today, Yahoo Finance, and IMDb. Does anybody know what IMDb is? Yeah. Why? Because I have a talk show. So all the people who come on my talk show also get an IMDb because we're actually a real show. We're not just like a YouTube channel. But I would have never been able to show that on my website. Does that make sense? And let me clarify something for everyone. This is not your website. And this is not intended to replace your website at all. Now, some of you may say, shit, I don't even have a website. Well, that's good because then this will help you out. But I have multiple websites. I will never, ever send anyone to my website. Why? Why will I never send anyone to my website?
Because they can get it here.
But why?
You can't capture information.
Hmm?
You cannot capture their information.
You're giving them one link versus many links. And what they want, not what you want.
When you meet someone for the very first time, and they hand you a business card with their business information on it, what do you feel they're trying to do?
Sell.
Because I don't want anyone to ever feel I'm trying to sell to them. That's why. And let's be honest, you're all trying to sell. I get that. I am too. But I don't want anyone to ever feel that I'm trying to sell. And the whole room just acknowledged that you would feel that I'm trying to sell for you, yet we do it every single day. So I stopped doing that 7 years ago. I said, I'm never going to make anybody feel I'm trying to sell. I'm just trying to build a relationship. I'm just trying to build connection with you. Now, I'm very smooth in making sure I get their information. I get my number into their phone. I create a follow-up sequence. Because what I didn't show you is when I do meet someone and I put my information into their phone like I did with you, I then have them text me. And then, stand up for a second. So then they text me, and then I say, oh, I got your text message. And then I go like this, and I go smile. And then I send him the photo. So my information went in his cell phone. I got his name, his email, and his cell phone number, and then I send him a photo of both of us. So now I have name, number, email, and photo, which at a networking event is a game changer. Because you meet all these people and you don't remember who the heck is who, and how are you going to effectively follow up? And here's the best part. Who are people that take selfies together? Friends. So I NLP'd, hey, we're buddies already, my friend. We already took a selfie. We're smiling and we're happy. Oh, that's Ray. It's the crazy guy with the mohawk. I love him. I started to build a relationship. I started to build an emotional connection because all buying decisions are based on what? Emotion. This is how you operate when you're at an event. This is how you operate when you're on stage. Now, you still do your presentation just like Dave teaches you, but if you don't capture leads, do you really think that every single person is going to come up to you after and talk to you? Why not? It's time, it's inconvenient, I don't want to bother him, but sitting from their comfortable seat, full name, best email, broom, broom, broom. And did you notice what I did as they were coming in? I read them out loud. Why?
Because the rest of them will get it done.
FOMO, baby. What's FOMO? Fear of missing out. So I created FOMO in the room, and you'll see, when you do this, because they want their name to be yelled out. Didn't it feel good when I yelled out your name? It felt good, right? I'm pumping that dopamine into you, right? But everything's intentional. Just like Dave's blueprint, everything has been planned out and has been executed step by step. Now, I don't really have a lot of time left. Obviously, I have a 3-day event called the Business Growth Bootcamp where we do 10 times the amount of stuff I've just showed you, and we drill it down, and we make you work on it, and we build out the site and the whole 9 yards. What we've realized is something similar that what Dave has realized. How much do you think you're going to absorb from this 3-day event? You're actually going to be able to absorb and implement. 10% if you're freaking lucky. So me and Dave had the exact same problem. We do these awesome 3-day events. You guys are super happy, but guess what? We know that there's no freaking way you guys are going to absorb and be able to implement more than 10% of what you learned. So that means you have to do what? Come back. And do what? Come back. Every single time you come back to this course, you're going to pick up something new that you heard before, but you weren't able to remember or implement, or you weren't in the right place in your business to be able to implement it. Because the one thing that changes from now to the next 3 months when he does this event again is what? You. You change. Who you are 3 months from today is not who you are today. And the way that you will absorb the information and the way that you will implement it will be night and day. Now, one of the things that we've done, and I'm trying to get Dave to do this as well, and maybe you guys can help me make him do it, is that we said, all right, so we know that this is our problem, implementation. We know we're giving valuable information. We know people love it. The surveys talk about it. It tells us. But we want people to actually be able to implement and use it. Because if you don't, you're not going to be as effective as I am at the networking events. And I want you to, because the few clients that are, it's game busters for them. It's a night and day difference. So what we decided to do was we said, all right, what if we broke this down into like months? So every month we picked one topic, we worked on that, we drilled down, we went and implemented, and then we had an accountability call 2 weeks later to see where everybody's at and see the process and work through that over the next 6 months so we can pace everyone to actually accomplish it. So what we came up with is the 360 marketing system. Not to be confused with 360 sites. This is your 360 marketing system. How are you promoting yourself from everything, okay? I'm gonna bring Jacob up right now so he can kind of share because, yeah, let's give him a round of applause. And the reason I'm gonna bring him up is because I said, look, I need you to interview all of our clients and everyone that you've been working with, ask them what their biggest challenges are and figure out a way to make this work. So him and the team have been working on building this. I'm just the one that just delivers, but it's really them that have been listening to the feedback so we can build this program. Because we really, what keeps me up at night is that I do a great job speaking and you guys give me a lot of round of applause and you come up and tell me how great I was, but then later on you don't actually see the type of results I see. That's what keeps me up at night. Because I know that if you actually did everything I teach you, it would be a game changer for you. It'll change your life. The best analogy I can give you is this. Did you ever have a flip phone before?
Yeah.
Could you imagine going back to a flip phone right now? Could anybody imagine? Give me your smartphones, I'm giving you a flip phone back. That is how I feel. When I look at people networking, giving out business cards, I'm like, oh my God, flip phones, Jesus. That's how I feel. It's night and day. All right, so here's another cool thing. I like to practice what I preach, okay? I don't like to tell you something and go do something else. So I use a 360 for everything. So up here in the top left, you see my picture? I added something at the bottom called 360 Marketing System. Do you guys see that? All right, so I click on that, and there's my 360 Marketing System, and I click on it, and it takes you to our slide deck. So check that out for a second. I'm only doing this for today's presentation. I uploaded that for you. In addition to uploading this for you, I don't know if anybody noticed, but I wrote something for all of you at the top. It says, welcome sales and scripting attendees with a little wavy face. That was custom for you. So one of the coolest things you can do as a speaker is you can customize your 360 for that presentation to wow your audience. What I love to do before I go on stage, I stand in the back of the room, I take a selfie, I make sure I get the whole audience, and then I upload it here. So when then everyone goes to my 360 site, they see themselves on my 360. And then I'll acknowledge whoever the speaker is. So I'll say Dave is a rock star, and I'll put it at the top. And it's just a cool icebreaker for your audience to be like, wow, they feel part of your presentation. Is this making sense?
I can make your hands clap. Said I can make your hands clap. Somebody save your soul 'cause you've been sinning in the city. I know too many.
Business is built on relationships, right?